beyond all reason. You gave your life, your all for me, and call me yours forever. Caught in the mercy fallout, found hope, found life, found all I need. You're all I need. The time has come to stand for all we believe in. So I, for one, I'm gonna give my praise to you. Today, it's all or nothing, all the way. The praise goes out to you. Yeah, all the praise goes out to you. Found love beyond all reason. You gave your life, your all for me, and call me yours forever. Caught in the mercy fallout, found hope, found life, found all I need. You're all I need. The time has come to stand for all we believe in. So I, for one, I'm gonna give my praise to you. Today, it's all or nothing, all the way. The praise goes out to you. Yeah, all the praise goes out to you. Today, I live for one thing, to give you praise in everything I do. Yeah, all the praise goes out to you. All we are is yours, and all we're living for is all you are. It's all that you are, Lord. All we are is yours, and all we're living for is all you are. It's all that you are. The time has come to stand for all we believe in. So I, for one, I'm gonna give my praise to you. Come on, church, the time has come to stand for all we believe in. So I, for one, I'm gonna give my praise to you. Today, it's all or nothing, all the way. The praise goes out to you. Yeah, all the praise goes out to you. Today, I live for one thing, to give you praise in everything I do. Yeah, all the praise goes out to you. And everything I do. Yeah, all the praise goes out to you. And everything I do. Yeah, all the praise goes out to you. Amen. Talk about being called out. Breathe on me, breath of God. Breathe on me. Breathe on me, breath of God. Breathe on me. I come alive, I'm alive when you breathe on me. I come alive, I'm alive when you breathe on me. Awake, awake, awake my soul. God, resurrect these bones from death to life for you alone. Awake my soul. Speak to me, word of God. Speak to me. Speak to me. speak to me. Awake, awake, awake my soul. God, resurrect these bones from death to life. For you alone. Awake my soul. Awake, awake, awake my soul. God, resurrect these bones from death to life. For you alone. Awake my soul. Awake my soul. I am the man, I am the one, broken by all the things I've done. I have been blind, I have been numb to all of the ways I've done you harm. Have I wounded you, Lord? Have I caused you to cry? Have you run out of patience for one such as I? Yet I've learned that your mercy extends to the sky. So I'm asking you, Lord, to forgive me one more time. Lord, I don't know where to begin, counting the cost of all my sin. How could I go day after day, testing your love for me this way? Have I wounded you, Lord? Have I caused you to cry? Have you run out of patience for one such as I? Yet I learned that your mercy extends to the sky. So I'm asking you, Lord, to forgive me one more time. Take my tears, take my pride, take the ugliness inside, hold them all against your heart, and have mercy, Lord. Forgive me, Lord. I am the man, I am the one, broken by all the things I've done. I have been blind, I have been numb, trampling on your faithful love. Though I've wounded you, Lord, though I've caused you to cry, you will never abandon the one such as I. 'Cause I've learned that your mercy extends to the sky. So I thank you, my Lord, that your love will never die. Amen. Beautiful song. Fell on my knees today. I just had to pray. I felt your spirit move. I knew what I should do. I will praise your name. I will not be ashamed. I'm in love with you. I'm in love with you. If I'm the only man, Lord Jesus, help me stand. 'Cause I believe in you. Some say that I'm made fool. Well, then a fool I'll be, because I'll still believe. I'm in love with you. 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 Whoa, whoa, yeah. I will praise your name. I will not be ashamed. I'm in love with you. I'm in love with you. If I'm the only man, Lord Jesus, help me stand. 'Cause I believe in you. Some say that I'm a fool. Well, then a fool I'll be, 'cause I'll still believe. I'm in love with you. 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 Lord, I'm in love with you. Amen. Hug and hat it.
All right, this is it's pretty weird for me being up here. A, I don't usually talk in front of people like this. B, I never thought I'd be standing here in front of a church, people I know. We're gonna push through though. Tonight we're gonna do the Prodigal Son. I think we can relate to everybody, since Steve told me Sunday that he wanted me to do this, and he thought this would be a good one in light of things that happened in my life, especially with my kids and this, that, and the other. I could relate to this story a lot, and I think all of us, hopefully by the end of this, will be able to do the same thing. Thank you for letting me speak, and ask for your patience. Tonight, hopefully we'll learn a pretty cool story. Let's pray. Dear Father, I want to thank you for tonight. I want to thank you for this opportunity. I want to ask that you help me out here, Lord. Give me your words. Not let it be a waste of time for them, just like Steve always says, Lord. I do thank you for this church. I do thank you for the family you have given me outside of my bloodline. I ask that you be with each and every one of us tonight, and let us absorb your word, Lord. These things I do pray in your holy name. Amen. All right, I'm going to start off in Deuteronomy. I mean, everybody don't have to go there. It's going to be pretty quick. This will give us an idea. In the story, the boy's going to come up and he's going to ask his dad for his inheritance while the dad's still alive. And in Deuteronomy, it breaks down the right of the firstborn. And it says in Deuteronomy 21:17, if you do want to read, it says, he must acknowledge the son of his unloved wife as the firstborn by giving him a double share. Double share. Tonight we're going to be dealing with just two boys, so it'll be 2/3 and 1/3. And I guess we can go to the story. All right, and in my Bible, this starts off, it's called the parable of the lost son. It's the prodigal son. We've heard it in different ways. I looked up prodigal trying to be smart, and all it gave me was it's wasteful for money. It was a waste. So we're going to stick with the lost son. The story sets up, Jesus was coming into a town and this, that, and the other, and we had the Pharisees and we had some of the teachers. And if you back up at 15, it says, now the tax collectors and the sinners were all gathering around to hear him. But the Pharisees and the teachers of the law muttered, this man welcomes sinners and eats with them. So Jesus decided to come with three parables about that. So we're going to start with the one about the lost son. And I'll read it to you first, and then we'll discuss it. It says, Jesus continued, a man who had two sons. The younger one said to his father, Father, give me my share of my estate. So he divided his property between them. Now, not long after that, the younger son got together all that he had, set out for a distant country. It's pretty important. And there squandered his wealth in wild living. After he had spent everything, there was a severe famine. There was a severe famine in the whole country. And he began to be in need. So he went and hired himself out to a citizen of that country who sent him to the fields to feed pigs. He longed to fill his stomach with the pods that the pigs were eating, but no one gave him anything. When he came to his senses, he said, how many of my father's hired men have food to spare, and here I am starving to death? Pretty profound. I will set out and I will go back to my father, and I will say to him, Father, I have sinned against heaven and against you. I am no longer worthy to be called your son. Make me like one of your hired men. So he got up, went to his father. But while he was still a long way off, his father saw him and was filled with compassion for him. He ran to his son, threw his arms around him, and kissed him. The son said to him, Father, I have sinned against heaven and against you. I am no longer worthy to be called your son. But the father said to his servants, quick, bring the best robe and put it on him. Put a ring on his finger and sandals on his feet. Bring the fattened cow and kill it. Let's have a feast to celebrate. For this son of mine was dead and is alive again. He was lost and is found. So they began to celebrate. Meanwhile, the older son was in the field. When he came near the house, he heard the music and the dancing. So he called one of the servants and asked him what was going on. Your brother has come, he replied, and your father has killed a fatted calf because he has him back safe and sound. The older brother became angry and refused to go in. So his father went out and pleaded with him. But he answered his father, all these years I have been slaving for you and never disobeyed your orders. Yet you never gave me even a young goat I could celebrate with my friends. But when this son of yours, who has squandered your property with prostitutes, comes home, you kill the fattened calf for him. My son, the father said, you are always with me, and everything I have is yours. But we have to celebrate. Be glad, because the brother of yours was dead and is alive again. He was lost, and now he's found. It's a good story. And at its face, it's a good story. It'll tell a lot. But as I read this story, and I read this story, and I read this story getting ready for tonight, it's haunting. It's haunting. There's basically three characters in here. And at one point in time in our life, we're all going to be one of these people. We're going to start it back, and we're going to start it back with a man who wants to go to his dad and ask for a third of his inheritance while he's still alive. Give me my money. Let me go do what I want to do. And as a father with sons of my own, I couldn't imagine him walking up saying, Dad, I know better what I need to be doing right now with my money. I know that I can go make a life far from this little farm town or whatever they were doing. Apparently it was a pretty big spread they had going on here. And the father did it. Gave it to him willingly, without argument, without hesitation. Let's divide it up. Let's do it right now. Then in 13 it says, not long after that, the younger son got together all that he had. We know there's going to be a time in our life as fathers that our kids are going to be ready to grow and go, start a life anew. We can accept that, but we don't expect them to come and say, hey, look, with the arrogance this kid must have come with, and say, I know better. I'm going to do this. I'm not going to do it right beside you. I'm not getting land beside you. I'm going to a distant land. Nobody will know my name. I'm going to start. I'm going to start anew. I'm going to set my own name. So that's what he decided to do. They don't tell us what country he went to, but he sets off. And it says that he went to a distant country. And in my head, that means he's not only leaving his father, the relationships that he has, the security that he has. He's leaving his God. He's going to show everybody. That would be like my son Elijah. Hey, I can do this. Watch this. Here I go. He's going to forget everything that he knows and goes. And I think God here is showing him. Humility is one of his best teachers. And he's showing him here that while he was in it, he squandered his wealth in wild living. I can't speak for everybody, but I know that there's been a time in my life where I squandered my wealth in wild living. Spent the rent at the bar, this, that, the other. I can understand. This is a young man now, all off on his own by himself. Nobody telling him what to do. And it says later in the story, as we read, that he runs with prostitutes. And I'm assuming there was some drinking and the wild living. I don't know if everybody knows, but you got money and you're around some people you don't know, they're going to like you right off the rip. Let's party. Oh, you're buying tonight? That's good to go. And I can see how this could play out in his head. I can see the prostitute. Oh, and now they just love him. Never had anything like this on the farm. But the money dries up. And then when the money dries up, what do you got? It goes on to say that a severe famine hit the whole country. That'd be my luck. Here I am. I got some wealth. I got everything that I have with me. I'm strolling into town. Already got me a new girl here. Got all these new buddies and this, that, and the other. We're spending money, and then before you know it, bam, famine. I didn't put nothing back. Never did. I didn't put nothing back. I'm not ready for a famine, but it said it went in the whole country. And he began to be in need. To me, that's just profound. I'm living with my parents. I mean, there's food on the table every day. Had your own room sometimes. Might have to share a bathroom. Might have to share a little this or that, but you had it. So now this boy is taking off in this foreign land, and he's sitting there, and he squandered all his money, and he's in need. It's not cell phones. Can't call Dad. Hey, Dad, you ain't gonna believe what I did. But now he's in need, and it registers. And he went and hired himself out to the citizen of that country. I mean, I think of the people who are trying to be citizens here that come here and how we treated them. I'm in the construction field. There's a lot of Latino workers. I'm trying to say it politically correct, but there's a lot of Latino workers, and I see how they get treated. Some of them get treated subhuman, pays bad, this, that, and the other, but hey, you're here, you're going to have to do it. And I can see that's what this kid's doing now. His new boss decided to send him to the field to feed pigs. From where they're at, and from the time set and this, that, and the other, were Jewish people. Jewish people didn't touch pigs, much less get in the filth and the muck, and were feeding pigs. And it goes on to say that he longed to fill his stomach with the pods that the pigs were eating, but no one gave him anything. I couldn't imagine. All I've ever been told is that's a nasty animal, stay away, if you can't eat it, this, that, and the other. Now I'm feeding them. Not only am I feeding them, I'm wanting what they're eating. But nobody wants to be there for you. Nobody's going to be there. Mom, Dad, everybody's at the house. You're in the pig pen feeding pigs. Then he comes to his senses. He said, how many of my father's hired men have food to spare? It's odd when we've hit rock bottom, we can look back and we can reflect. And we can think of everything that was laid out for us. And we say, nah, I can do it myself. I don't need your help. I got it. I got it. Now you got this kid, like I said, sitting in this pig pen, wanting the food that he's feeding these animals, these nasty, vile animals to him. And he's thinking about the people that work for his dad, the servants, people that had his back even when he was at home. They looked out for him. I mean, it takes a village to raise a child. I always say that all the time. So all these people that were looking out for him, you're by yourself because you know best. And he said, here I am starving to death. He says he will go out back to his father and say to him, Father, I have sinned against heaven. Which I think he did that the minute that he walked away. He did that when he went to that foreign land where nobody would know his names, where he can run with prostitutes, he can get drunk, he can do whatever that day called for. And I sinned against you. Like I said, I am a father. I couldn't imagine. You know, fathers know best, they say, but, you know, especially these days, if you try to put this text into what's going on in 2014, these days, these kids do know everything. I'm not just talking about mine. They do. They're going to tell you how you're going to do things. Discernment wasn't an issue. But he did get up and he went back to his father. I couldn't imagine. Here I am. I'm wanting pig food. I got to be nasty. I'm in the same clothes that I'm leaving a pig pen. I've come to the realization that anything's better than this. Rock bottom there truly was a rock bottom. Now I think he found it. So now I'm head back, tail between my legs to Daddy. I couldn't imagine humiliation. But I think as this kid, and I think that all of us have hit that at least once in our life, when humility was exactly what we needed. It brings back perspective. It lets you know exactly what you are walking away from, exactly what you did have. And luckily for this, as we've already read the story, we know that he's going to be greeted with open arms, which would be hard. Human nature is not to be that forgiving. It's not, but it says here, it says that he was a long way off, and his father saw him. I couldn't imagine. My kid's been gone a while. And I look off in the distance. Is that him? Yeah, oh, it is him. Look how nasty he is. Here he's coming back. You know what happened? Probably lighter. He hadn't ate. It says that he was starving to death. He's wanting, this is what's coming back home. Send this kid off with everything that he owned. A third of his inheritance. A third of what he's going to get after his father died. Apparently it was a nice big farm. Everything is going good. Let's cash out now. But it said his father saw him. He was filled with compassion. He ran to his son and threw his arms around him and kissed him. I think all of us would do that. There's been loss. There's been kids in here. For the older gentlemen that have had kids go through drug issues, drinking issues, violence. Not all of them are all here still today. This father gets another chance. He let him go. You're a big boy. You're going to do exactly what you want to do. I'm going to help you out. Here you go. Enabling him somewhat. But the compassion, after basically being slapped in the face and said, hey, look, Pops, I got this. I want to go. I want to do this. Well, here it is. And he still had that much compassion for him. I mean, I could see it. If one of y'all were gone, I could see it. The son comes to him, and Father, I have sinned against you, just like he planned. Here's what I'm going to tell him. This is going to make it all right. And he goes back through the whole spiel. I've sinned against you in heaven, and I'm no longer worthy to be called your child. Fathers can't think like that. Can't think like that about your kid, no matter what they do. It's hard to think like that. I couldn't be that compassionate. It wouldn't be like, you know, we're going to have some issues right off the rip. We're going to handle some stuff. We're going to change it up. Here you are. You know, I know your brother's mad, and you're going to find out in a minute how mad he is. And you bailed. You left it. You could do better. Now you're back. Welcome back, son. And then as you keep reading, and it said that the father told his servants, quick, stop what you're doing. You're the boss at the house. Stop what you're doing, boys. We're going to go do this right now. Let's get him the best robe. Not just a robe. Let's get the one hanging up with the plastic on it. Let's hook him up, nice purple, whatever the day called for. Something nice. So now this guy that smells of pigs, that's been walking a long ways, that's longed to see his father but scared to death. What is he going to think of me now? How am I going to be received? And here's a man with tears in his eyes, already kissed and welcome home. We missed you. Here's your robe. Then it goes on to say that they gave him a robe and they put it on him. They put a ring on his finger. And first time I read that, I was like, they put a ring on his finger. You know, I could just imagine if I'm coming home, last thing I'm going to worry about is a ring. Let's get some dinner going. Let's get some of this. But they're putting a ring on his finger, and I got to thinking about it. I was like, why? Why would they do that? But it's a simple answer. He walked off from the family, and right off the rip, the daddy's going to let him know by that ring that you are back. You're back to take your place in this family. It's full forgiveness here. And if you look at it like that, that's the way we ask our Father in heaven to be with us. We step out. We're going to do some things. I mean, I'm known for it. We're going to do some things that we know we shouldn't be doing. We go through that deep remorse, and all we want is to have that feeling one more time. That forgiveness, that total forgiveness. And that's what this man's doing for his son here. So he's putting a ring on his finger, and he's putting sandals on his feet. Be nice after that long walk, some nice, clean sandals. Then it says, bring the fatted calf and kill it. So now we're going to eat good. He was wanting pig pods. Now Dad's going to kill the fattened calf and the lamb over here for us, and we're fixing to eat. I try to put myself in that kid's mind. I mean, how can you do this for me? I've went against what you've taught me. I've showed you that I could do better. I've squandered my inheritance. I've done things that you've spoke all my life not to do. I know this. I know what I'm doing is wrong, and you're going to sit there and you're going to treat me like this when I come back. The compassion and humility is overwhelming in the story. Like I said, at its face, this is an awesome story. If you just read it like we did the first time, just boom, 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 boom. But if you do break it down, you see the humanity in this and the hopes that we could all be like that, that we could just forgive like that. They're killing the cow now. We're fixing to eat, and we're going to celebrate. And he says, for the son of mine was dead and is alive again. He was lost and is found. It just bleeds in discernment. It's letting him know that, hey, I know where you've been. I might have known what you've done, but we're not going to discuss that you're back. You're back in the fold. You're back with the people who love you. You're back doing what you're supposed to do, what God designed. You're back in the land that you're supposed to be in. Enjoy it. Enjoy this meal. I'm assuming that the dad could look at the boy and see not only with the nastiness, like I said, you can see the skinniness. We know how it is to be hungry. I mean, my kids can go 10 minutes after dinner, I'm hungry as I can be, but this was for real. And I couldn't imagine looking and seeing, what have you done to yourself? I mean, I could be gone for 3 days. My mom would be looking at me like I was crazy. Son, did you eat? Did you do anything? It don't take long. And there's no telling how long he's really been doing this. There's no telling how he looked at him, what he really did see with his eyes. A robe can only hide so much. Well, we're going to fatten him up now. We're going to do the cow. We're going to celebrate. Because I know he's back. I know he's learned his lesson. Rock bottom will show you there's only one way to go is up. And I think that's what Dad's right now trying to say. Hey, we're gonna bring you out of this. We're gonna show you what time it is. We're gonna get you back in the fold. We're gonna get them moving. Progression. So they begin to celebrate. Then the third character in there, we already know we got a prodigal son that knows everything. We got a forgiving dad. But we got an older brother who still now, he gets 2/3. Little brother's already been paid. Little brother's already got his third. That's a done deal. But the older brother, it's kind of like a lot of people feel in here. It's the way I feel a lot of time. Hold on, man, I'm doing my part. I've laid that down. I've gotten away from that. I've been beside you from day one. I never left. I listened to all your orders. I've done exactly what you've asked me to do. And I don't feel like I'm getting the consideration he's getting. He says that the older brother was in the field. When he came near the house, he could hear the music and dancing. If you put yourself in his head, here you are, you've already worked your butt off all day again. You're coming up, you're hearing all this music and dancing. It ain't my birthday. I don't remember it being Dad's birthday. What's going on here? You know what I'm saying? You see people out and about, smell the food, the laughing, the dancing. So he called on one of the servants and asked him what was going on. And I can just imagine how the servant was. Your brother's back. Happy. You live with someone, you work with someone, you watch them grow up, there's something there. There's a tie there. I mean, it's like my buddy's kids. It's like some of the kids that y'all brought tonight. I mean, there's a tie. You want to see them do good. You want to see them. I mean, not only that, you know, your dad's paying that for us and taking care of us. We got more food than we can handle. I said that earlier. So here's the oldest son talking to him, wondering. And your father has killed the fattened calf because he was happy to have him back, safe and sound. Goes on to say the older brother became angry. It goes back to what I was saying earlier. I've done my part. Farm's still going. We had it handled. You took off, you was going to show us. You went and had all this blast, and my life still stayed the same. Don't have the same memories, don't have the same emotions. All he can see is, hold on now, he went and he spent a lot of money. And I can see how I could look at somebody like that. Hold on, I've been working. That's all I've done. How are you doing this? How are you driving that car? How are you doing this? How are you? Now, and I've been working. Blew the inheritance, eh? Because he don't even know yet. He has no idea, but he does say. He does say, which I can see my kids saying, these were prostitutes. Let's go ahead and defile it just a little bit more. And I think as humans, we do. I don't think we do it consciously. I don't think we're going to wake up today and say, well, I got to put Matt in his place. You know, he's not doing it. But here he is. He's actually angry. The older brother became very angry, refused to go in, not participating, don't care. So the father went out and pleaded with him. Once again, I got boys. I couldn't imagine sitting down with my oldest son saying, hey, look, man, you get 2/3. This is yours now. Everything from here on, it's yours. He's gone. Your brother's back. Let's get away from the money. Let's get away from what time that you put here. Your brother's back. It's human life. Somebody that you wrestled with. Somebody that you argued with all the time. Somebody that you argued with. You taught each other. You played ball with. You did whatever it was at the time, but it was his brother. There's something to be said for blood. And the father's pleading with him. But he answers his father, look, all these years I have been slaving for you and never disobeyed your orders. What an awesome kid. What an awesome kid. That was like my little brother. You know, my little brother was straight-laced, and here I'm coming back with the police with me. Hey, mama, you know what? Dwayne sitting there just smiles. But I can relate. I can relate. I could see the angst. I could see some disgust, and maybe some resentment from the older brother. And I think, you know, like I said, humanity kind of dictates that to us. Yet you never gave me even a young goat I could celebrate with my friends. That's stingy. That's stingy. But I can understand it. But when we celebrate, but when this son of yours, that's the part that got me too when I was reading. But this son of yours, it ain't my brother anymore. It ain't Tristan or it ain't Elijah or whatever the brother. It's this son of yours. Again, we can still see the angst. We can still see the mild disgust. He said, when the son of yours has squandered your property with prostitutes, comes home, you kill the fattened calf for him. All right, I can't get a goat after working. Celebrate with my friends. As soon as his old brother comes back from squandering everything we had, Dad, or a third, what we had, we're gonna kill the fattest calf. The father says, my son, you are always with me. That too, I think we ask for the Father to think of us. That we are always with him. Or he with us. And everything I have is yours. So not only did he submit to the first and the youngest son, now he's having to plead to the oldest son. To do what he should do. Wrap your arms around your brother. Tell him welcome home. Talk with him. See where he has been. What he might have So you don't make the same mistake. At least hug his neck, let him know he's back. Unless it was his ring he gave him, I'll be a little mad about that one. But we need to celebrate and be glad because your brother of yours was dead and alive again. He was lost and is found. It's deep. It's very deep. It don't say exactly how long he was gone. It almost screams a couple years. The way you see him when he gets back, I'm just trying to look to the Father's eyes now. Because I think a lot of the symbolism in this, and I think this is why Jesus told this parable. He wants those that do stray, that do know they're going to come back. He longs for it, just like we do our kids. I know they're going to mess up. I know they're going to step out, but I know they're going to come back. If they don't, we're going to drag them back. But they didn't have that option here before the cell phone age. And you look at the son, the younger son that knew everything. Because I know I was that. Hands down. I can do it better. It's time for me to have fun too. Not like my older brother. I'm not going to sit here and work my fingers to the bone. I'm going to go play. And if they didn't, where would he be? If they didn't have a change of heart, if the dad wasn't so compassionate, so forgiving, where would that boy be? I mean, I couldn't imagine, hey, turn around, buddy. You made your bed laying, and I know we've all heard that. But the older brother bothers me the most. He hasn't learned that yet. He hasn't learned you're going to mess up too. One day you're going to be asking the same thing for forgiveness. Maybe not at such a high rate, but you're going to be asking for the same thing. We can't walk this world. Not even back then when there wasn't as much that we could just, so much tangible stuff we could just grab and hold on to and run with. But it's easy to mess up. It's easy to have that tunnel vision. This is what I'm going to do. I'm out of here. I'm done. Farm living ain't for me. I mean, I get a kick out of listening to Steve, especially after this, all the farm living he has. A big city must have been big for him as well. And then we ask, why did Jesus tell this story? Why did this parable come? Because it does say it in 15, before he started with the lost sheep and this, that, and the other, that people are looking at him. You hang with the drunkards and the sinner, and you're breaking bread with them. What kind of man are you? How can you be the Savior? How can you be the Christ if you're hanging out with miscreants and whatnot? But I think even today, 2014, we've all done it. Maybe a couple of us have been on that side. Maybe a couple of us have been in the proverbial pig pen. I've done all I can do for myself. I need some help now. I've made a big mistake. Forgive me. And I do ask myself, which character would I be? Which character would y'all be? Are we the almost like the God-like dad here? Full of compassion, full of forgiveness. With a younger son that knows everything until we just hit that wall every time? Because I know people like that. I know a lot of people, and it's like watching a car wreck. You can't turn away. But you can't help them either. Or are we? Are we the older brother? Do we have the tunnel vision on people too? Hey, look, man, you've already done this. You can't be changed from this. You are what you are now. I hope that I don't perceive people like that, and I hope nobody in here does. I think the only way to change the way we've already started this whole little humanity now, here in this 2014, it's all about me, man. It's all about what can you do for me now. And this parable screams that. It just screams that. Give it to me. Let me go. Give me now. Don't have to earn it. It's mine. It's like I said, being the dad, I couldn't imagine. What have you done? Why are you asking me for this? What are you going to show me? Why are you leaving? But we all have to leave. We're going to do. So you don't want to play in your own house. You don't want the neighbors to see what you're doing. You're doing wrong. Definitely want your dad, who's raised you right, who's taught you, set that moral compass for you right off the rip. You don't want him seeing you with prostitutes. You don't want to see him seeing you with drinking. You don't want to see him acting like. You don't want anybody to see you like that. But I do think the full submission by the Father was the true. I think that's what we need to take out of this. And I think that's what Jesus was trying to tell them. We got to be more like that. We got to be willing to say, hey, look, I see him for what he is, but I know what he can be. Luckily, Jesus had that. He could look. He could see our soul. He could peek into us. He know what we are. And I think we can do it too. I think we can. I think we need to take off the glasses. I'm not saying put on, what was that, the champagne glasses or whatever, where everything looks all nice and neat. I don't think it's like that, but I think we should be able to look and see, hey, look, this man needs help. He said it even in the pig pen, his own boss, people that was working with him, they had nothing for him. Pigs weren't going to share. I mean, I hope we do learn. That we fix our eyes on what we're supposed to fix them on. And everything does work itself out. It will. And that's all I have. And Brett ain't in here, is he? There he is, Brett. You abandoned me. But you'll come back. You got that big heart that I was speaking of.